Okay. Have you heard of the Deer Woman? So I came across this story. I had never heard of it before. So I've pretty much heard of what I feel like is just about everything, but I never heard about this. It's a creepy legend. It's about a deer woman. It was fascinating to me. So once I heard about it, I found someone's real encounter with her on Reddit. And first, I'm going to tell you about the legend, and then I'm going to tell you about the story. So the story basically goes that a long time ago, there was this woman who was just a regular woman, and some really terrible things happened to her by a group of men in the woods. So as she lay there and, in her final moments, a fawn curled up next to her and laid with her to keep her company while she was dying. So essentially, in her final moments, like the forest heard her and she became like born again. So instead of dying, she became like this half deer, half woman. She was beautiful, like a goddess, like nobody could resist her in this new body that she had. So the legend or the lore basically goes that she's going to lure, evildoers or bad people to their by standing on the side of the road and appearing as if she needs help. And she looks beautiful, like I said, like a goddess. So if you're driving down the road and you're thinking of picking up a beautiful woman, you're going to need to think twice about it, especially if you're a bad guy. What is said to happen is that the deer woman will get into the vehicle and she'll look totally normal until you look down at her feet and you see that they're hooves. So I know this sounds like really crazy, but what will happen is she'll trample them to death. So if you don't notice that she's part woman, part deer, she's pretty much going to end it for you by trampling you to death. So the ancient story is basically you can get rid of her with some kind of tobacco like ritual, or if you recognize her for what she is, she will just up and leave and let you be. But if you don't recognize her for what she is and she's actually lured you in, she's going to end it for you. So it sounds all well and good, like some old story, some old folklore, whatever, about the woods and a deer woman. So I had, like I said, I never heard it before. So I went on to Reddit and I started to see if there was any stories of this deer woman, and lo and behold, there was. So there's this kid on Reddit who said that his grandpa told him a story that back when he was like 35, the grandpa, him and his buddies were at a bar and it was time to go, and they basically decided to go their separate ways. The buddies went one way, the grandpa went in his truck by himself to head home. So this grandpa starts driving home. He had definitely had something to drink. He sees this beautiful woman on the side of the road, like flagging down people for help. So the grandpa told the Reddit user that he felt like something was off, like he was a spiritual dude, but he still felt like something was off about this woman, but she was just so innocent and beautiful that he was just drawn to pull over and see if she needed any help, which she did. So the woman gets in his car. He notices that she has a purse on. He looks down at her feet and sees that they're hooves. As soon as he sees that they're hooves, he says to her, "I know what you are. I know what you are, and you need to leave." And just like the legend says, if you recognize her for what she is, she will leave you alone. And sure enough, she just got up and got out of his car and she disappeared into the woods. So the kid's grandpa said before she disappeared into the woods, he noticed that her form started to shift from like this beautiful woman with hooves into like an actual deer lady creature that was absolutely like terrifying, kind of, the stuff that you would see in your nightmares. But she left her purse in his car. And what's even crazier, or coincidence, or if you believe in coincidences, whatever. So this Reddit user, what prompted the person to go on and tell the story of the deer woman is they were driving down a road late at night and saw a woman, beautiful woman with a purse standing on the side of the road in that same area. I'm guessing that grandfather was driving way back in the day, needing a ride. So it made this person think that maybe this is exactly who his grandfather saw, but this time he just kept driving. He didn't stop. So what do you think? Have you heard of the deer woman? Am I the only one that has never heard of her? And I'm pretty into the paranormal stuff and I'd never heard of the deer lady. So what do you think? Do you believe in this stuff? Have you heard of it? Do you have any stories?